Yes, I think it's a pretty early song for you. Do you still recall when and where you were when you wrote the song Faraway Voice?
I do remember where I was when I wrote the song Faraway Voice. I was in my bedroom at my parents' house, and this was, I think I was, how old was I, 17?
Yeah.
And I remember listening to Eva Cassidy, because the song is about her. And this was about, I think, a week beforehand, before I wrote the song, and being completely stunned by this gorgeous voice and such a simple arrangement of a song. You know, you've got to remember, I was in a generation where music was all about production. So, you know, you had artists like Eminem, Britney Spears, So Solid Crew, R&B and hip hop and pop, where the focus was really on the rhythm.
Yeah.
So to hear her arrangement of, you know, Over the Rainbow, where it's just this gorgeous voice and the guitar, and the focus was on just emotion, I was just blown away. And I remember saying to my friends, oh, we've got to see this amazing new artist live. And they said, you know, no, sorry, she passed away.
Yeah.
And I was just so devastated. And I think I was really depressed for like a week. And then that those feelings came out in the song. And I wrote Faraway Voice about that, and about just the sadness of not having a chance to, you know, see her live.
So what do you think then, if when you knew that she passed away, and at first you didn't know, can you describe the feeling that you had? You say, well, it's a shame that no one can hear this voice.
Yeah, I mean, I put those feelings in the song,
yeah.
So I think it's fairly self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But how else could I describe it? It was just, I think it was just, part of it was nostalgia for a period that I wasn't actually alive for. You know, I felt a link and an understanding with music that wasn't of my generation. You know, artists like Dylan and Joni Mitchell and Cat Stevens, where the focus was more on songs and putting feelings and emotions into songs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think I just felt a bit isolated and different to everyone else, because everyone else was into R&B and hip hop and pop music.
And how does it feel nowadays? Because I think now
it's actually shifted.
Yeah.
To be honest, now I've made peace with it all, and I feel so lucky and happy to be alive when I am, because I think now you have the hindsight of looking back at those periods and still being able to enjoy that music, you know, from the 60s and 70s. But also there's some incredible music out there today, and the focus has really shifted. I mean, pop and R&B isn't as mainstream as it used to be 5-10 years ago. You know, now there's a lot of rock, there's a lot of blues, there's a lot of indie, you know, in the charts, and just the variety of music that as listeners we have to choose from is immense. And yeah, I feel fortunate to be able to, you know, pick from all of those.
But do you think it's a reaction to, well, those days that you described earlier, when pop and when it all was more based on rhythm?
Probably is a reaction, yeah. I think people, you know, the listeners wanted more of a variety in the mainstream charts, because there's always been, you know, all sorts of music around, but it's not always been in the mainstream charts. But, you know, I mean, if you look at the biggest selling records of last year and compare that to 10 years ago, you know, it's not all pop and R&B and hip hop. You know, it's a lot more diverse.